You have arrived at Laughbox, the podcast for the Association of Applied and Therapeutic Humor. We are so excited you're here. Join us for episode 131 with Jim Bob Williams, Katie B, and our special guest, CHP, Kyle Edgell, the caricature artist extraordinaire. Yay!
Welcome to Laughbox, the official podcast of the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor. I'm Jim Bob Williams.
And I'm Katie B.
And our special guest today is the amazing, the talented, the lovely Kyle Edgell. For those of you who haven't met Kyle, you'll need to come to a AATH conference or some other event where she happens to be combining sketch artistry, improv, and laughter yoga.
So cool.
So Kyle, why did you combine those three? You're in the kitchen and you're looking for something to make a presentation with, and you pick those three.
those three picked me, I'm afraid. The long and short of it is, I started as an artist and a fine artist, graduated from Syracuse University in the early 80s, and that transition to desktop publishing was just happening. And I had a fine art degree. When I got out of school, I fell into having to teach myself graphic design. And the first 10 years of my career was graphic design, art direction, creative direction, and learning the software and computer design and such. But a side hustle started in a bar. I started drawing for tips. Not specifically drawing for tips. I didn't want to draw people in the bar, but my roommate insisted on it. And I was, as a freelancer at the time, I was, of course, a little hungry. And I was asked if I did caricatures by the owner of the restaurant. And a little subterfuge there, I lied. I said I did, just to have the excuse to show him my portfolio of graphics, and this is what I can do for you as a freelance artist. And when I showed up for the appointment that I thought we had made, he had forgotten all about it. I was too insecure to admit that, oh, by the way, I have no caricatures in my portfolio, and yet here he was asking me to come in on a Sunday night, draw his customers. And so with much trepidation, I went and maybe drew 4 or 5 people. And when I got into the car, you can't accept money for something you don't know how to do. That's just ethically where I was. So I was just so thrilled for it to be over. I get in the car and I said, never again. I'm not going to try to do that to somebody. But my roommate fanned out like a deck of cards, 10s and 20s. It was $150 on a Sunday night in a bar in Roanoke, Virginia in 1990. I was like, hey, this helps pay the rent. Just like Cheers, I started going to places where everybody knows your name. And because I knew I was producing such ugly drawings and I had some theater in my background, I thought, as long as people are entertained, then they'll get their money's worth, even if the drawing doesn't. So that's how improv started sneaking into my process. And
Nice.
laughter yoga came after I joined AATH.
Oh, wow. That's right. I sympathize with that because my son, when he started out in art, he did caricatures.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. And it kept him going between gigs, and I'm very thankful for it. Although, if you do art in a bar, does that make you a bartist? I'm just.
Yeah. I tell you what, if I weren't so poverty stricken at the time, poverty will make you bold. And
Sure.
anybody trying to draw caricatures needs to be bold and take that risk to have people watching over their shoulder. And what happened when you turn that picture around is there is a lot of laughter. However, my ability to draw seemed to be connected to laughter. The more laughter there was, the more relaxed I felt. And the more relaxed I felt, the more people related to me and laughed themselves. So my career ran simultaneously. I did continue to work in graphics and do caricatures for quite a while, but I did take a job with a homeless shelter for 5 years. And in the course of having to develop my ability to be in front of a tour group as they toured our homeless shelter campus and to talk about things, I came to realize that some of the skills I had developed interacting with people in laughter had value. It connected volunteers to the mission. It just helped those that I was engaging in that were going through hard times. And I decided to, for the first time in my life, instead of invest in art, to see what was out there in terms of scientifically studying humor, scientifically studying laughter. I knew it worked intuitively by that time. I knew that it had a much deeper meaning than, oh, here's your work, here's your cartoon sketch of yourself, because people were reacting and responding in ways that were like meaningful to them. They felt affirmed, they felt better, they felt, and they still do. And I've been drawing for 34 years, and I have people who are bringing their children to me because they still remember the experience they had when I drew them when they were children.
Wow.
And so
That's awesome.
the only reason I can give for it is that the artwork must still be on their refrigerator at home. But that's being disparaging towards my artwork. I think my artwork developed, as did my understanding that humor could be a skill. And improvisation, when I started learning some games and some of the challenges that come with improvisation, I realized that it is somewhat of a skill that can be built and help us interact with anybody in our lives, as does laughter yoga. That sometimes when you don't, as an artist, if you don't feel like drawing, but it's your profession, you have to draw anyway. And sometimes if you don't feel like laughing, you should really put yourself in a situation where you may find yourself laughing, and there's an intentionality about it.
So it's fitting that today we are having this discussion on the International Day of Play. So here you found that humor was making you more effective as an artist, maybe better interactions with the client staff of the homeless shelter. So when did you find out about AATH and find out some of the science behind humor?
I guess I had first heard about AATH way in the beginning of my career, and I was intrigued by it. But most of the conferences were on the West Coast, and it's just impossible for me to be able to afford to go there. And after working at the shelter, I came across them again, or I can't remember if I specifically looked for them, but when they popped up on my radar again, I quit my job. I joined AATH and I joined the Humor Academy, more because I expected AATH to say, I went in there as an artist, as a creative person, saying, I have the skill to make people laugh. What do I do with it? How can I know it helps people? I know clinically they feel better emotionally. They're more positive. They interact. How do I plug in to do it as a wellness practice? How can I engage to make people aware of that? And what I love about what AATH helped me to do was they didn't dictate or say this is how you should be as an artist. One, they discovered a lot of what they taught I already knew because I was in the laughter making business. If I get hired, it's my business to help people laugh. So in a sense, it was an epiphany that I was already aware of the value of what it did scientifically. What I had to do was look around on me and be able to say, how do I do it specifically? How is it that I engage? And laughter yoga gave me the answer to that because, again, through meeting people, AATH principles or laughter yoga or eye-to-eye contact. And I don't know if any of you have ever tried to draw anybody, but when you start drawing somebody, the very first thing you look at are their eyes. And it can be a very comforting, awkward moment when meeting somebody. Hello. That's why we can't remember people's names. I think something else is going on in our brains that when we get introduced, our brains are assessing whether we feel safe or not, what is this person thinking about me? What am I thinking about them? And the name flies out the window.
Yeah, the brains are processing the image file, not the text file.
Yeah, and to get beyond that when I'm staring at them, which is not social etiquette, not good social etiquette. It's a very awkward moment, and a lot of people are very resistant to that. So what is it that I do that makes people relax quickly enough for me to be able to draw them? And there are a couple things that I had to look at myself and say, what did I do? And I realized direct eye contact was one, but I was the first one to smile, be the first one to laugh, because it's contagious. So that was number one that I learned and became aware of because of AATH. The other thing is laugh, even if you don't find something amusing. It's the International Day of Play. I'm glad you brought that up. I always would bring a random prop. I didn't know what the hey I was going to do with it, but I was looking for an opportunity to use it. And when you're looking for an opportunity to have some fun with a prop, no matter what it is, it presents itself, or make a quip, or make a pun, or even if it's a bad pun.
So
And
Kyle, were you fun? So you're saying you were funny before you joined AATH?
yeah, people expected me very much to be funny. That's why they hired me.
Did it make you funnier?
Only when I tell you the explosion of making it funnier. Yes, it helped. Short answer, yes. But I was fine that people thought I was funnier when I helped them engage with each other.
I was going to say, your being funnier is from a therapeutic point of view. So you're ice breaking, you're making connection, you're helping others make connection, you're all this in play with the therapeutic state of mind, meaning it's helping people.
Yeah. Karen Buxman, I remember she said that surprise, delight are two components of people having fun. And if you think about it, when you have the reveal of the caricature, the spectators have seen it emerge. Anticipation is part of finding joy. Creating an event in the future that you can look forward to is a therapeutic use of humor. So in a microcosm, the process of the drawing where people are anticipating how the other person is going to react is part of that being intentional about humor therapeutically.
Kyle,
Yes.
I believe you were honored at the conference this year.
Yes. I'm still not quite sure for what, but it was great.
What was the award? They gave you an
Pretty
award. What'd you
amazing.
win?
Yes, yes. And the thing that was the most precious was they gave me a caricature of myself.
Yes,
And
yeah,
so
that was
it
beautiful.
was a complete surprise. And it had my parrot in it and it had those things that were extremely personal to me. And which is another component. The more somebody, the more you can have the opportunity to experience making somebody help them laugh.
The award title was something like something about how much you've contributed over the years, right? Because you come and do caricatures at every conference for free.
Yes, every conference since I've been there, I've crashed the party. I have not been part of the planned agenda.
So what was the name of the award? What was the name of the award?
What was the name of the word for it was exactly like what you said for the contribution and
that's what I thought.
that I had given to the AATH association.
Yeah, I heard they were giving you the sketchiest member award, and I was like, Wow.
Yes, I absolutely am the sketchy. And also, I always wanted to target the outliers, the people that were a little seemed whenever they came to AATH for the first time, I wanted to be, and Katie B has taken that role on herself, and I'm delighted because it's less work for me. All I have to do is sit back and draw, let the fellow creatives really bring out their toys and really help share the process of laughter, because a lot of AATH has just been so affirming for me and validating that I have a bigger contribution to make other than just as entertainment, that it's a vital thing that we as human beings have to engage in, is to be intentional with our laughter, to practice surprise and delight with others.
I love
And
that.
these are snippets, and I had to learn not to be myself, to that I couldn't be Karen Buxman. I tried to be a speaker. That didn't work. I can't remember two words next to each other in terms of, but a workshop and spontaneity, which is part of laughter, the doing a little dance, the actual process of how that happens. I've been doing that for 34, 35 years. Distraction. That was the third element. Surprise, delight, and distraction are elements of humor.
So I guess we can tell Karen Buxman that you did your homework and you learned something.
Yeah, yes, of course I did. But a lot of it was learning from fellow people in the organization, the lawyers, the academics, the psychologists, the nurses who came in and said, yes, this has value, that there's science behind it. I just learned this week of a game called Mind Ball, and Dr. Lee Burke at the conference had once said, and I'm not sure that either you or Jim Bob were part of the conference, but that laughter activated the gamma
Mm-hmm.
um,
Brainwaves.
brain
Yeah.
waves. And part of Mind Ball is they put the electrodes on your mind, and whenever your brain waves are gamma, it will move the ball.
Nice.
So the
Yeah.
more you relaxed and the more you didn't try to move the ball, the more the ball would move towards the goal. And your opponent also has the headset on, and those particular brain waves will electronically move the ball. So it sounds counterintuitive. The more you try to move the ball, the more it stops dead. And I bet most people are trying to relax. And it made me want to play this mind ball, which you can buy. I looked it up, and see if laughter yogis, by making people laugh till they're
Yeah, I'm
genuinely laughing, could move the ball.
so curious about that. So
Yes.
40 hertz, I just learned in this other workshop, we are ears. We are big, giant ears. We all vibrate. Our skin vibrates, our muscles, our molecules. We're all vibrating all the time. Music is a frequency that's created by frequency that's vibrating. 40 hertz, apparently, is a sound that can heal, but it also brings gamma brain waves. And so I have a theory that laughter puts us in a brainwave state that helps us feel more evolved, feel more able to cope, feel more like a little distance from our problems. And as we learn the frequencies and the vibrations and what laughter does for frequency and vibration, I was even trying to find a few days ago, what is the frequency of laughter? I didn't get a good enough answer yet. I'm still working on that.
I have the exact same theory that when I am drawing, it's only about a half hour in or an hour in that when people are laughing, that my drawings get better. I'm more relaxed. And they say athletes have the flow,
Right.
where they have to be relaxed and at the same time at the peak of their performance. And I know a lot of the studies, or most of the studies on humor, have involved people engaged with technology. It's a stand-up comedian. It's on a screen. And it would be hard to do a study where people are engaging with each other unless there was a guarantee that the person could make somebody laugh. Because I think person-to-person laughter would reveal more results.
I've done a
better.
lot since COVID. I've been on all these Zoom meetings with social therapy and improv and all these experiments that happened. And we found that if you look at the camera of your Zoom meeting, it's like you can look somebody in the eye. And so we would do these warm-up exercises with the East Side Institute and the Global Play Brigade, where you stare into the camera like you're looking at someone, and then you look at the other windows, the other people. And when you do this with some music playing and it's relaxed, and you can get a sense of there is something happening there, I believe. And you can feel connected even through a screen, which I think also just tells us that much more about humanity
Yeah.
and how we can connect. But anyway,
When I say screen, when people are watching a sitcom or people,
it's
they
not
get the-
interactive, right?
it's
right.
not interactive. And
Oh.
I would love to have the opportunity to help bring people into a state of laughter. And I can pretty much guarantee that anybody that sits in my chair and starts playing the game and everything that I have, that there definitely will be laughter with
Yeah.
most people, everybody involved. And I never had that guarantee until I added my own component or piece of improv and laughter yoga and that social interaction around my easel. I went from sitting down drawing somebody to standing up so that I could dance and they could dance. So I even brought dance into it. So I rarely
That's
sit
amazing.
when I'm drawing anymore.
So,
And
Kyle, you're talking about drawing. This is your day job. So this is
my
going
to-
to
yeah, it's my
segue into Jim Bob's question very, very well, Jim Bob.
Well, actually, I was going to mention that part of the difficulty in doing the research about people interacting, it's very tough to stuff two people into an MRI. Really difficult.
Yeah,
better be
however, they
besties.
now have a way to do it where it's just simply connecting the brain. They don't have to be in the MRI. I was once invited by the University of Maryland to come up and
Yeah.
be stuck into an MRI and draw because they wanted to see what was happening inside my brain when I was
Wow.
drawing.
Cool.
However, that in my mind would never have worked or really shown the two value, because you're right, because being stuck in a tube was not going to generate the joy that I needed to change my brainwaves to help me do great drawings. It would have been horrible drawings.
Yeah.
So I'm
Mention
aware
I
of the
would have had
time.
to draw on the ceiling of the MRI. Oh, I know. Speaking of an element, when you're sitting in the doctor's office, I'm going to give you this little technique. When you're waiting on the doctor, they put you up on the little table there that has the paper that rolls down. Always take a Crayola magic marker and go ahead and color while you're waiting on your
That's a
doctor.
great idea.
Yeah.
Write little messages, little affirmation. They're going to throw that away anyway, so you don't have to
Right.
worry about it being a great work of art. But when I was going through cancer with my plastic surgeon, I decided to draw him from memory, holding a platter of all the choices of different kinds of boobs that I wanted. I did say that on my podcast.
Oh,
You know,
Kyle.
he pulled that thing down and he made every show that he was going to save it. But it's certain. And the other thing I do is I sometimes don't jump up and sit on it. I like to be standing so I can meet my doctor as he comes in the door and greet him. I stand, and I find that makes me feel more confident and more ready and less vulnerable. And so just a little technique, take that Crayola marker in with you. Also, during chemo treatment, I did take a squirt gun in with me to defend myself. Again, that idea of having a prop just gave me something to look forward to. And my niece was so enamored with the idea of one of my chemo sessions. She had filled a box with all sorts of things for me to share with other people that were undergoing chemo the same time as I was, because it was an open room. And it was a poem, it was a song, it was something funny. And they were all timed. So I had to wait till a certain 15 minutes between each thing each little gift I was allowed to open. So that was a sense again. And that was before ATH. So I was already engaged in therapeutic humor and was not aware that it's something that could be incorporated by friends and family of people going through cancer treatment. And for AATH to give people these tiny nuggets of joy, something that will make their lives more resilient and happier. And I'm going to have to, sorry to be the one to
We'll
bring
have to pause here. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we can pause, and if we can meet again soon, we can finish. But I think we have
Okay.
about 30 minutes. I think we have exactly 30 minutes right now. So we could go with it. I could add the where to find you at the end,
Yes.
but we would miss
Okay.
out on Jim Bob's question. So we
Oh,
can
what was, you want to ask me the question?
Thursday.
Well, yeah, my question is, what do you want people to know about how to use humor on Thursday?
Do you want, okay, do you want to hit the record and I'll do it?
It's still going. You just talk.
Oh, Thursday is my favorite day of the week. So I find it very intriguing that you asked about Thursday. And then I discovered that my birthday week was Thursday. So I would invite people to discover their own birthday day of the week, no matter what it is. It might be a Monday, it might be a Wednesday, and carry a prop with them. Grab something nondescript, whether it be a paddle ball from the dollar store to share with somebody that day, or a super ball that they can bounce in the grocery store just to see if somebody runs after it to catch it. If you're bold enough and brave enough, especially with the super ball thing, because nobody needs to know where it came from if you bounced it high enough.
That's awesome.
I have a little super ball that's got a smiley face on it, and it actually glows in the dark. So my little 4-year-old niece was chasing after it in the grocery store one day. And so to see a small child chasing after a super ball in the grocery store was making a lot of people laugh.
Yeah.
But yet it was a dangerous thing to do. She was like a torpedo below sea level, popping out around the ends of the aisles. So yeah, and on Thursday, oh gosh, see, you're asking the wrong person. I have a gazillion ideas. I love to act like the doors are opening because I have applied my magic to them. So as I walk into automatic doors, I try to time it just so that it feels like I created the magic that pushed them open.
And Kyle, you create tons of magic. And Jim Bob and I can finish this up. If you need to go, it's 11:40. And
Okay.
we can publish this one, and then we can have you on again.
Wonderful.
But this
It's
way we
been
get you out there
fantastic.
in our list, because Jim Bob's we're trying to bank up as many of these as we can. Jim Bob's going to go have his hip replaced. So we want to be prepared so he doesn't have to worry about it. And so that's why we're rushing to get more done right now.
I want to be your first Joy ambassador in Roanoke. That would be a really cool process to find out how that builds. I'll actually contact the ambassadors here and see if they'll have a Joy first.
You could do it online.
That's
It can be taught online.
Wonderful.
Yep.
If you're willing to do that,
I'm totally
then
willing
we
right
can-
here. Willing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can stay tuned then.
Yeah.
So I may
Okay.
want to become a Roanoke ambassador
I love
myself, but I've
Yeah.
got to find out more about it.
All right, cool. So Kyle, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us. Love you. See
We
you.
love you
Thank
too.
you, Kyle. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So this has been Laughbox, the official podcast of the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor. I'm Jim Bob Williams,
And I'm Katie B.
and we want to thank our guest, Kyle Edgell. a very fascinating look at the application of therapeutic humor in the most unusual places.
I know. How cool is that?
She noted that she quit her job when she joined AATH. I just thought listeners should know that we dropped the requirement that you quit your job to become a member. That was just a couple of years ago. So. Box is a production of the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor. Visit us online at www.aath.org. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Music by Gary Rubio. For more information, www.garyrubiomusic.com.